Welcome back to another episode on Anxiety Doesn't Own Me podcast. My name is Emmanuel Isaacson, and I'm an anxiety coach who helps people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally. So today's episode is going to be about burnout. This is something that I think most people deal with whenever we're dealing with anxiety, whenever they're trying to overcome anxiety and trying to heal themselves, or even in general. With work, it can be with family, it can be with life itself. It doesn't have to be specifically with anxiety, but burnout is a pretty big thing. And especially whenever we're dealing with anxiety, it might be different in dealing with burnout because with burnout, whenever let's say you don't have anxiety, you can take certain breaks. And with anxiety, you can't really do that because it's not something you can just take a break from. Meaning because you don't want to experience anxiety, but at the same time, you want to overcome it. But it's a very sticky, gray area about that. But I'm going to go more into details about burnout and how to deal with burnout so that you guys are able to handle and know whenever you're overcoming anxiety that you are going to have setbacks and that you're going to feel this way. And that's perfectly normal to feel that way. And I know where you're coming from, and I understand that, and it's going to happen. Expect this thing to happen because, again, overcoming anxiety is not a 1, 2, 3 thing, but it's definitely possible in overcoming and healing your anxiety. But today what we're going to be talking about is how to deal with burnouts. How do we properly deal with that so that we can continue to move forward and overcome our anxiety? So the first step, guys, is to recognize the signs of burnout. Like, you're going to feel very fatigued. You're going to feel very frustrated. You're going to feel very demotivated. You are not going to feel like this is possible. And you're going to have I'm going to be stuck like this for the rest of my life because I've tried so many things and it hasn't helped. And there's no point of me trying different things. It makes no sense. So you want to recognize the sign. That's the first thing. We want to be aware of that. And also on top of that is to accept that, you know what? I'm burning out right now. I feel like I'm burning out and I can't do it any longer. It's too much for me. So we have to acknowledge that, and that we're going to be more of accepting of the fact that we feel. Because I always talk about this with anxiety. One of the best ways to overcome anxiety, to heal yourself, is to accept the way you feel, is to accept the anxiety, to accept the thoughts, the feelings, and sensations that you're experiencing is one of the most powerful ways in calming down your anxiety. But even with the burnout, or even your general emotions that you have, and generally speaking, those things, we want to acknowledge them. We want to understand, hey, I'm feeling this way. I am feeling this way right now. And we don't want to push it out or anything like that. We want to accept the way we feel. So that's going to be step number 1. Step number 2 is to set boundaries, guys. We have to set boundaries, meaning that whenever we are trying to overcome our anxiety, we have to set boundaries of how much effort we actually are putting in. If we feel like we're overexerting ourselves and we're pressuring ourselves to attain a certain goal, we're pressuring ourselves, and pressure, by the way, guys, increases the anxiety. We have to set certain boundaries. Tell ourselves, you know what? I'm trying, for example, to walk out of my house, to be out of my house. All right. My goal is to go 10 miles away from my house, or 5 miles, or a mile away. And every single day, we're only hitting a half a mile or a quarter of a mile. And we're getting frustrated. Okay, I'm never getting to that 1 mile mark. I'm never getting to that 5 mile mark, or whatever your situation is. We want to set boundaries and tell ourselves, you know what? My goal is to hit the 1 mile mark. But it's okay if I hit the quarter mile. There's nothing wrong with that, because in the past situations, I couldn't even hit a quarter mile. I couldn't even walk out of my house. But I have improved, and I'm going to get there one day. So I'm going to set a boundary over here. I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself in getting to that 1 mile mark. I will naturally let the flow happen, and I will get there. I will get to that 1 mile mark. This is important, guys, because Whenever we're trying to, let's say in our example of hitting the 1 mile mark, right? And we're only hitting the quarter mile or even the half a mile, and we're getting frustrated, we're getting annoyed, and we're getting demotivated, think about it. It's not helping you to move forward. So we're going to set some boundaries over there. We're going to take some time off. And that way we can reassess or maybe do something else in the meantime, so that, let's say, for example, one of our ways is to heal our anxiety is by driving for 1 mile, right? But we're only hitting the quarter mile. So you know what? Okay, maybe I have to try a different approach to try to hit the 1 mile mark. So we're going to set some sort of boundaries with ourselves. Now, the third step is to sometimes take time off. Take time off. And this, I remember I spoke about this in the beginning of the episode, and I said it's kind of like a gray area of like taking time off, because at the same time we want to have that momentum, and that's going to help us. But at the same time, if we don't take a time off, it's going to make us feel bad. It's going to make us feel down. So sometimes taking a time off, like meaning taking a day off or taking 2 days off or taking whatever amount of time that you need in order for you to move forward. Because sometimes we need to take a step backwards in order to move forward. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with taking some time off. It helps you to reassess. It helps you to get your thoughts back together. It helps you to like think about, okay, maybe there's a different way. There's a different way of actually, accomplishing our goal. So sometimes it helps us to take some time off in order for us to feel much better. Now, the fifth thing that we can do is to practice some mindfulness, some relaxation techniques. Something that we can do in order for us to calm down the stress, to calm down the burnout feeling, because we're feeling a certain way, and I understand why, because you want to get to a certain place. But sometimes we just need to like be in a calm state where we are right now. Do some breathing techniques, nothing to do with the anxiety. Take the anxiety away of trying to calm down your anxiety, just for yourself, just for your mind. It's going to help you to calm down yourself, which is, oh, by the way, going to help you with your anxiety, but it's going to help you calm down with the emotional part. And that's something that we need, because the burnout is an emotional reaction because of the frustration of you trying to do something and it's not going away, and you're feeling overwhelmed and there's so many things going on and it doesn't seem like you're getting what you want, and you're putting the effort every single day and you're not seeing the results. So sometimes we need to do some relaxation, maybe go to a spa, maybe, do a breathing exercise in your place, whatever helps you to calm down. Try to do that thing that's going to help you to feel good. It's going to help you to feel calm in order for you to recollect yourself, in order for you to rejuvenate yourself so that you have more energy in starting to move forward in your journey in overcoming your anxiety. Now, another thing that you can do, and I don't know exactly what number we're on, but another thing that you can do, and it's very powerful, is to speak about your frustration, is to take it out. It helps whenever you express what's frustrating you inside, can help you reduce your stress, it can help you out with your burnout. Because sometimes whenever there's something amazing, whenever we were connecting with other people, whenever we talk to other people, it kind of like relieves stress. I know for some people it increases their stress because they're introverts or they have social anxiety. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people, or you could do, by the way, if you are introvert or you have social anxiety, with something you feel comfortable with, or even with a therapist, or even with me when I do one-on-one sessions. And by the way, guys, again, I do the 30-minute free consultation. There's a link in the description below. You can set that up and you could talk, and it helps. It helps to relieve that burnout feeling. It helps you to de-stress. It helps you. It helps me until today. I still sometimes to today, I have someone that I go to speak, just to take it out of me, because that helps me. Because whenever I'm able to speak to somebody, it takes out a lot of stuff that I'm dealing with, and it kind of gives me clarity also. Or they may have a different idea that I haven't seen, or maybe a different approach that I never knew about, that can help me to get to that place. So it's very powerful to speak to somebody whenever you're dealing with the burnout, especially with your anxiety, and also anxiety in general, to help you to calm down your anxiety and deal with your anxiety. But it's a really, really good way to connect with somebody, especially someone that understands anxiety, that went through it, that can really help you out tremendously with your burnout. Another thing that you may want to do is change your approach and how you're dealing with that situation that you're struggling with. Let's say, for example, right, with the car, whenever you're driving, you want to get to a certain place, right? Let's say for 1 mile and you're only hitting a quarter mile. Say, okay, you know what? I've been trying this for X amount of time. It hasn't helped me. I'm not moving forward. Maybe there is a different way. Maybe there's a different way that I haven't figured out, either don't know about, that can get me to that 1 mile marker, that can get me to that 5 miles, that can get me to the 10 miles, that can get me to overcome my anxiety. Right? So we may not know what that technique is. We may not know how to do it. And there's definitely a different possibility, a different way that we may not know. And this, by the way, this is one of the major reasons why people burn out, is because they're operating on the things that they know and it's not getting the results that they want. And they haven't thought about the possibility that whatever they have been doing is great, number one, but at the same time, it's not getting them to the place that they want to because it's not the right way. Because I remember whenever I speak with people on one-on-one sessions and whenever I ask them, okay, what is it that you're trying to do to calm down your anxiety? You're trying to get wherever you want to get to. Most of the time, they give me one or two things and I tell them, like, listen, it's great, but it's not going to get you where you want to get to. Whenever I do tell them, like, oh, I never thought about that way. I never tried that approach. And whenever they do try that approach, I get text afterwards, and it's amazing to see these texts. I love it. Like, you know what? I tried your technique, and now it's like I got to the place where I wanted to get to, and I never thought I would be able to do that. So it's amazing. It's amazing to see that, number one. But sometimes, guys, we may not know. The techniques, all of them, and we may be missing a few things that we may have not been taught or even introduced to. So we want to open ourselves to the possibility, and that gives us hope. It gives us hope, and hope is such a big thing. It gives us hope, like, okay, it's not the end of the road. It's not that's it, and I can't overcome this. There's a different possibility. And I know there is a time where that even comes, like, you know what, I've tried so many different things and a different approach, and I always tell myself, okay, maybe this is it, maybe that's it. And that is, I understand that frustration. That's where you come and take some time off, and then reassess yourself and get back into it, because that's going to help you. Because sometimes, guys, I know that taking time off is hard. It's hard. It really is. And I'm speaking even for myself. It's hard sometimes, but sometimes it really does help in order to reassess and to move forward in life. So, guys, these are just a few ways that you can deal with burnouts to help you to move forward and to help you to stop feeling burnt out. And this way you'll be able to move forward with your journey in overcoming your anxiety. If you did like this episode, please click the like button and leave a 5-star review. The reason why I ask is because this way we're able to reach more people. And the more people that we can actually reach, the more people that we can actually help. Because my mission in this world, my purpose, is to help people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally and show them that it's possible to overcome. Thank you guys. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.